Hey guys, what's up? I'm here to give you guys my first impressions and first recap on Shokugeki no Souma, Go Sara, or you could call it Food Wars The Fifth Plate on episode 1. Now, this episode right here, looks like a lot of changes have happened here and there, which I will not say here unless they will show it. If they don't show it, then I will maybe talk about it later in the future, but that might be for another time or maybe towards the very end until I give you guys my true final thoughts about the entire series in general, you know? So, if anything else, let's just get this started. We have too that the episode opens up where all the students from Totsuki are at the beach and they are given a task in their finals where they have to make 3 million yen at the end in 3 days because they rented out the entire place and they have to show their name. Not to mention, we get an introduction to a new character called Suzuki Sensei. It looks like to me he seems like a nice guy. He looks very young and he might be the youngest ever to be teaching at Totsuki, you know? That much is said because the way how he looks, I mean, he doesn't look like he's over 20 or anything. Guess that could be questionable. Not to mention, he did see Yukihira and says his greetings to him, but it looks like to me there's an ounce of displeasure that he's looking at Yukihira's Souma, which I guess we're about to find out later. But aside from that, we have to it that everyone gets their own place right now, except for the Elite 10, which is only into 6 people. We do not know what happened to the other 4. But all I know is 6 of the Elite 10 are pretty much have to work together, and they are at a sucked up, ran down warehouse that they have to take care of, which they had to make renovations in 2 days and have to make their goal 3 million yen on the final day. Of course, there is a scene with Yukihira and Erina having to talk to each other about their mothers, you know. Although, like, Yukihira does say, like, his mother was a terrible cook, you know, etc. But she always finds a way to make his father happy or something, you know. And of course, Erina's like, you know, that's pretty cool that you could talk about your mother like that, you know. That is pretty nice here and there, etc. And of course, you know, when it came to like Yukihira and the other Elite 10, they are struggling a bit because they have to renovate the entire place and they only have the final day to make their, let's see here, make their goal, you know. Eventually though, the final day comes about and you know, eventually when it came to lunchtime, a lot of people from the beach and that were forming up the lines, etc., they ended up having to go to their place and the Elite 10's dish is known to be yakisoba, you know? And we have too that Ro is the one who's been cutting up the squid into bite-sized pieces, saute them with olive oil and squid ink, and once the flavors melded together, he'll later on flambe them with white wine. While Aldini himself, he'll take care of the cabbages and onions with sweetness and tomatoes with a little tang, and then, you know, when it came to the shell heads, you know, we have too that Hayama's special red olive oil will later on be put into the egg yolk, and that's when it made it so delicious, and you know, eventually they ended up making the 3 million yen at the end of the day. Over 3 million, actually. On the final day, too, which is only to be expected because, you know, if the Elite 10 before them did this, and the ones before them that also did this, it shouldn't be a problem for them. I mean, like, it should be obvious from the start. Of course, like Suzuki Sensei, watching from afar, seeing Yukihira that he's actually that kind of a first seat of the Elite 10, he ends up saying, I don't see anything. I guess you're not too much of a big deal. Before anyone else could actually get to their vacations with the Elite 10, possibly, they ended up giving up information by one of the teachers from Totsuki, you know, and he's the one giving them information about the blue, which is also pronounced as Bishoku leading under 25 entrance. This is where like chefs under 25 are gonna be like competing for world-class fame kind of thing. That's where Erina and the other Elite 10 are fired up to get ready to know what's going on. And the next episode is called Blue Preliminaries. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of people might have told every other anime onlys, etc. to tell them, you don't have to watch this season because yeah. I will save that for later. It's up to you whether you want to watch or not, or you want to watch my recap, you know, even though it'll be very confusing with a lot of details, and then towards the end, I'll give you guys a short recap about that, etc. But yeah. As a manga reader myself, the final arc became very questionable. Or, if anything, in other words, if I had to replace questionable, it became a problem. And you guys might be asking me, do you think it's worth watching, though? It's up to your perspective. I mean, like, for me, I mean, like, you started this series a long time ago, you know. You might as well just finish it now and give yourselves the final thoughts, you know. I mean, like, for me, I'm a manga reader, and I finished the manga, etc., so I'm just going to keep it up with it to the end. But I will tell you this, though. It had a lot of... The final arc had many issues, which I will bring up later, and it will be questionable. And then I'll give you guys my final overall thoughts of the entire series in general, if you guys notice that I never done manga recaps with this series. So, pretty much, yeah. Overall, I will be sure to give you guys I'll be sure to, like, explain all that when it comes to my final thoughts overall when it comes to this series. But, like I said, and letting you guys know, this final arc right here, it had a lot of issues or problems. That much I can say. So be prepared for that. If you guys don't want to watch it, you might as well just hear my mouth babbling on with the recap, you know. Okay, but as a lot of people will tell you, it's not worth watching, you know, because, you know, I had a lot of issues in the final arc. Like I said, and repeating myself, I'll be sure to talk about those issues or problems once it is revealed. That much I am going to tell you. But yeah, so until then, people, anyways, opening and ending was good, but the ending was actually very nice. And yeah, until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm Alpha Zero. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time, alright? Peace out. Bye-bye. Toot-toot-toot.